Hello. The goal of this ionic application is to be able to call a REST API and display a list of data. So let's start the app using the command ionic serve, and as we can see, this is our application interface, which consists of a button, then HTTP, and when we click on the button, it calls the API. As we can see over here in the console, the API data is there, and it displays a list of data which we from the API. So to start the app, we had to run the command and start, and with a blank using Angular. So firstly, what we did was to go to this website named as mockable.io, which basically allows us to um, use the mock API to free mock API to we in our project. So when we made this API, I had used this dummy data, which is a JSON having two actors in one box here. And when we click on this start, it starts. And then coming back to our application, firstly what we did is we had to go to app.module.ts to import the two uh, HTTP client and HTTP client module. Here we have imported here, and then we had to inject them in the import section. We have to put this HTTP client module, and in provider section we have to put this HTTP client, and then thereafter we had to go to we have to go to homepage.html, in which basically renamed it the title as just API calling, and which we can see over here, this just API calling, which is displayed over here. And then thereafter I made a button which basically consists of a function named as run.http, and upon clicking the button, this particular uh, function run.http performs. This is an on-click listener, and let's go to the page.page.ts, in which we had to import the HTTP client and then inject it to it, and then we had to put the constructor in private HTTP, and set it to HTTP client, and then here is a function that run.http that runs when we click on the button, this button run.http. So upon clicking the button, it we use this function this.http.get, which basically consists of the API link, which we can see over here. This is the API link, and putting it here is equivalent to as typing or copying and pasting the link in the browser. So this function what does is it calls the API, and after calling the API, we are using this dot subscribe service, which basically fetch the data, and then we store the data in our console, which we can see over here. This is the console, and the data is stored in it. And coming back to the HTML part, we have used to display in order to display the whole data, this and this. We have used a loop, which is ng for loop, uh, using the let friends of friends, and we have used one utility, which is UI.avatars, in which basically what it does is using it uses for initial of first and last initial of the names, and then it creates an avatar. As you can see over here, Mike Tyson has MT, and Johnny Depp has JD, and Jackie Chan has JC. So in the this section we have used friends.avatar. This is basically an Angular function which is called interpolation, in which we can use this friends.avatar thing, um, so that we don't have to, it can iterate all over this JSON data and fetch the list completely. So this loop runs, and then it fetches this. First of all, it displays this friends.name, as in here you can see name is Mike Tyson, Johnny Depp, and Jackie Chan. And then it fetches this is no NBSP, which is no blank space, so that look it can look pretty good. It creates a no blank space, and then we have used this friends.age. Then it fetches the age of every person in the data, and then we have this friends.prof, which basically fetches the profession of each of, and then we have used this friends.avatar, and we have this avatar section which is using the name final plus initial. You can see that Mike Tyson, Johnny Depp, and Jackie Chan. So to you, in order to this do to the work, we had to go to home.page.ts, and we had created a variable friends.any, which is an error type, and then we have to in order to display this particular data, we have used this plus friends, and we have stored data in it, and so when we refresh it and we click on the button run.http, it fetches the API in the console, and it displays the data which we want it to do. It iterates the friends loop over the this JSON data in this mock API, and then it displays that data in our um, app as a list. And using these are the avatars which we have used a separate service for. So this was the API REST API calling Ionic mobile application. Thank you.